My name is Hassan, and I belong to Gujarat. The story goes like this. We had ordered some construction materials from Jhelum. The construction work had started. My father had settled all the fare with the driver. By the time everything was arranged, evening had fallen. When the driver reached Alampur, he called us saying, "I can't come now. I'll come in the morning." We got worried. What could be the reason the driver was saying he'd come in the morning? We said okay, but asked him to explain. He refused, saying he'd tell everything in the morning. He just said, "I can't come now." My father told me about this, so I called the driver. He asked brother, "What's the matter? Why aren't you coming?" He said, "I have a bit of a problem. There's a jungle ahead, so I can't come." I thought maybe he was afraid of thieves or dacoits. So I told him, "My friend and I will come to get you." He said, "Okay, you come and take me. I can't come like this." I said, "All right." Then we took out our car and told our friend to come to our house, as we needed to pick him up. He said okay. Then we went to get him. We parked our car ahead and he followed behind us. We unloaded the materials there. Then we asked him, "Brother, what was the matter? Why were you speaking like that?" You know how they say, once fear enters your heart, it stays for life. At first he wouldn't tell us. I can't tell you his name, as he forbade me. He told us he's a professional driver. He shared that there was a wedding, a Barrett was coming, and he had to take goods to Azad, Kashmir. By the time everything was done, it was evening. He thought this is my area. No problem. We'll travel peacefully. They had dinner and set off reciting Allah's name. You know Azad, Kashmir is all mountainous area. By 8 p.m., they reached a hotel on the way. They stopped for tea. The hotel owner said, "Please stay here tonight. The area ahead isn't good. Leave in the morning." But they said, No, we're locals." No problem. The owner insisted, "Please don't go ahead." Clearly someone who had experience, something tries to save others from similar incidents. But they didn't listen and continued. The driver with him didn't believe in jinns. I was young. I believed but would say, "We'll see what happens." They went ahead and reached some uphill areas. Suddenly their truck stopped. They were stuck, couldn't go forward or back. Earlier some vehicles were passing, but soon those stopped too. I was on top of the truck. Then I came down to the driver and asked what happened. He said, "I don't know. The truck stopped on its own." He told me, "You go back up. I'll sleep inside the truck. We'll see in the morning whatever happens." I went back and started using my phone. Soon I felt sleepy and dozed off. It was very cold. The driver was below, and I was above with a blanket. After a while, I felt like something was moving, like someone was climbing onto our truck. I tried to come down to check if it was a thief or something. I looked around but saw nothing. By then the driver was asleep with windows up. He probably didn't hear anything. I thought maybe I was mistaken and went back to Esli. I was lying down looking straight up when I saw something coming. It wasn't clear, very hazy like smoke. It grabbed my throat. I couldn't make a sound, and it kept screaming continuously. Brother Adnan, that place was terrifying enough already. Such places at night are so frightening and silent that you can't even see your own hand, and the silence itself is scary. And on top of that, I saw something there. It wasn't clear at all, very faint like smoke. It grabbed my throat. No sound came from my mouth while it kept screaming nonstop, like when someone is extremely angry at a person. After that, I remember nothing. I fainted. When I woke up, it was 1 or 2 a.m. I thought maybe it was a dream. I was very scared at that time. I consoled myself that it was just a dream, but my throat was hurting, and I suddenly felt the need to relieve myself. So I had to go. I came down and saw the driver was still asleep. He knew nothing. I picked up an iron rod from there thinking some animal might attack me. I went to the washroom, and as soon as I got up, I saw that same shadowy figure standing there. Seeing it, I was terrified. What happened? Where did it come from? Then it suddenly screamed and pushed me. I fell down, and it started screaming very loudly. EP, I tried hard to get up. My clothes got covered in mud. My condition deteriorated badly. I didn't let go of the iron rod. I had. I tried hard to get up, but was exhausted. At one point, I was about to faint again when suddenly I remembered to start reciting Allah's name and Ayat al-Kursi. That thing started screaming even more, as if in great pain. I wasn't very far from the truck, but only I could hear the screaming. Only I was attacked. The driver was sleeping peacefully as if nothing was happening. I recited prayers and Allah gave me courage. I went up and nervously sat in the truck. The driver knew nothing about what happened to me. I woke him up and told him everything. He said, "Take an oath from me. I'm not sleeping out of fear. I don't know what it is." My eyes didn't even open. I didn't hear anything there. We both got scared and placed Ayat al-Kursi on the truck's buffer. We spent the night there. In the morning, we fixed the truck. After that, I don't remember. I unloaded the goods and we returned home. At home, I didn't tell anyone and slept. In the morning, I had high fever. My family gave medicines, but the fever didn't break. Then that thing started entering me. I had no consciousness. When I came to, my family asked, "What happened to you? Why were you making strange sounds?" "I'll take her away. I won't let her go." I said, "I don't know why I was making those sounds." Brother, my family got me much treatment. That thing remained inside me for 1.5 years. It would come and harass me like this, saying, "I'll take her away and kill her." Then we went to one place. He was a very spiritually powerful person. He resolved our issue. He performed Desiree, spiritual presence. Before that, we had visited many people. They all took money and said, "This is beyond us. We can't treat this." But he said, "This is a very evil witch," and explained that she was angry because I relieved myself near her dwelling. That's why I won't let her go. But that elder was very good. He started reciting and somehow saved our lives from that thing. He burned it. After that, I lived in Dubai and Saudi too. But that fear stays in a person's heart and mind. Even now when I'm sleeping, if something falls or children make noise, my eyes open as if she has come back. I get extremely scared. That night, he wasn't coming on that route because there was jungle there. I'm very careful now. So, Brother Adnan, this was one of the stories, and I can say with certainty that it's 100% true because when he was telling me the story, there was extreme fear on his face. May Allah Pak keep everyone in his protection. Ameen. Thank you very much for sharing the story. Story 2, Salim's Trucking Horror Asterisk. Now let's move to another truck driver story. My name is Salim, and I've been driving trucks for 15 years. I've traveled every corner of Pakistan, mountains, plains, deserts, rocky paths. But one night I spent going from Mari to Karachi still shakes my soul. This is important. There was snowfall. My truck was loaded with goods going to Karachi. My habit is to travel at night to avoid daytime crowds and rush. That night I did the same. By evening the loading was complete. I had tea, checked the truck, and departed. It was about 10:30 p.m. when I left Mari for Rawalpindi. The cold was so intense my hands were shaking even with gloves. Suddenly at a deserted turn, I saw a man standing in the middle of the road. In my headlights, the person was clearly visible. He was wrapped in a white sheet, with his head bowed. I honked, but he didn't move. I got angry and a little scared too, but I didn't get out. My truck door was locked from inside, and I kept honking. After a few moments, the man slowly moved aside. As I passed him, I looked back. The road was empty. No one was there. No trace of that man. I consoled myself that maybe it was a local elder and moved on, but a strange unease settled in my heart. When I crossed the toll plaza and got on Islamabad Highway, I felt some relief. I turned on the radio to distract myself. For a while, regular songs and news played. Then suddenly there was static on the radio. The transmission got distorted. Then clearly a woman's voice said, "Go back, Salim. You don't know where you're going." My hands started shaking. I immediately turned off the radio. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it would jump out of my chest. I'd never heard anything like this in my life. Never experienced such a thing. I thought, maybe it was some frequency issue. But the question was, how did that voice know my name? I decided not to stop and continue my journey. Around 1:30 a.m., I reached near Calabag. The road was deserted. Just cold winds and darkness all around. Suddenly in my headlights, I saw a small boy walking by the roadside. He was completely alone. No vehicles or settlements nearby. I slowed down and called out, "Hey kid, where you go at this time?" But he didn't stop, just kept walking. At first, I thought I'd keep going. Then I thought about the child. Who knows whose child he is and where he's going at this hour? So I stopped the truck to one side. I got out and looked back, but the boy was gone. I hadn't gone far, just stopped a few steps away. I was forced to wonder, where could that boy have gone so quickly? This place had very weird vibes. Like something was circling around me. I started feeling very uneasy. This was my first time seeing strange things on lonely roads. But all this was happening in one night, and each incident was testing my sanity. I'd been driving continuously for 4 days. I wasn't getting proper sleep, so I thought maybe I'm just tired and imagining things. I shook my head and got back in the truck. When I reached near Sucker around 3 a.m., I decided to rest for an hour before continuing. I saw a deserted spot with some trees and an empty field. I parked the truck, turned off the lights, and lay down on the seat. Not even 5 minutes passed when I felt like someone was walking around the truck. Sometimes near the door, sometimes by the tires. I peeked but saw nothing. Then I heard a sound, a woman's soft laughter, like someone was whispering. I immediately got up and got out. There was nothing on the ground, but in the empty field, I saw a tent that wasn't there before. I was partly tired, partly sleepy. The closer I went, the more my heart raced. From the tent came that voice again. "Salim, come inside." Brother, I can't describe how I felt at that moment. Fear rooted me to the spot. For moments I couldn't even move. Then I heard the voice again, even more terrifying this time. I immediately ran away, started the truck, and got back on the main highway. All sleep vanished. After leaving that place, when I put my truck back on the highway, I became certain that something bad was happening to me. Like someone was trying to stop me, perhaps to save me from some unseen danger, or maybe to kill me. I started reciting Quran. I have a principle. When afraid, don't stop the vehicle because stopping isn't safe. At around 4:30 a.m., after passing Kerper, I came onto the National Highway. The cold was at its peak, and sleep was coming to my eyes. I thought I'd have some tea to refresh myself. I saw an old Daba with a yellow light burning. 2 trucks were already parked. I also parked to one side. As soon as I got out, a strange silence enveloped me. The trucks were there, but no people around. The tea counter was there. Stove was lit, but no humans. I was surprised and a little scared. But gathering courage, I called out, "Hey, brother, can I get tea?" No answer. Then suddenly a voice came from behind. "You'll get tea, Salim, by..." I turned to see a young man standing there, but his eyes were red, like they were burning. I panicked, ran to my vehicle, locked the door, and started it. As soon as I moved, the Daba lights went out. Complete darkness. The trucks had vanished without a trace. Now my soul was about to leave my body. I couldn't understand what all this was and why it was happening. I kept reciting whatever I remembered from Quran, but the fear wouldn't end. Scared as I was, I now didn't think of stopping the truck anywhere. I was now near Karachi. The sun would rise in about an hour. My mind was tired, my body too. But as Karachi approached, the supernatural events decreased. Suddenly, all my truck lights started flashing together. The speedometer rapidly went from 0 to 100, though I was only driving at 40. Then an extremely foul smell filled the cabin, like an old grave had opened. In that moment, my first thought was, this isn't just some dirty smoke or animal smell. This is something else, like something rotting underground. I rolled down the windows, but the smell was coming from inside, like someone was present in the truck with me, invisible but whose presence I could feel. Suddenly a hand appeared on the dashboard. It was wrinkled, shadowy, and covered in mud. The fingers were moving, like someone was shaking hands after coming out of mud. My body jolted. I slammed the brakes. The truck stopped. For a moment, I came to my senses. My breathing was labored, hands shaking. I tried to recite Ayatul Kursi, but the words wouldn't come out. Then it was like someone whispered in my right ear, "Go that way." I looked ahead, and the road was gone. I'm telling the truth. In front of me, there was no highway, just a broken, stony path, with old graves, some slightly open. On one grave sat a figure in a shroud, looking at the truck. I don't know if this was my eyes deceiving me or reality. I couldn't comprehend all this because my heart and mind couldn't accept so much happening. With all my strength, I shouted, "Allahu Akbar! Oh, Allah help me!" As soon as these words left my mouth, there was a loud sound like an explosion, and I lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I found myself at a traffic police checkpoint. They were saying, "Brother, you were found unconscious in the middle of the road with your truck. The engine was running, but you were unconscious." I asked in surprise, "Where am I?" He said, "Near Nawab Shah." But brother, the strange thing is that where I fainted was a graveyard, and it was already daytime. But my senses hadn't fully returned yet. I didn't tell anyone what happened to me, because most people don't believe. I rested there a while, then continued to my destination. Even today, I'm amazed thinking about what happened to me that night. Many people still probably won't believe this. I'm telling you all this with great courage. If you liked it, please share the story. Thank you very much for sharing the story. Story 3, The Haunted Route Asterisk. Now, let's proceed to another truck driver story. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you? I listen to your stories daily. The story I'm going to share with you happened to me last winter. The story goes like this. I belong to Mayanwali. My uncles, etc., have their own transport company, which is quite big. Their work is to supply cement from one place to another. We loaded cement from Mayanwali and went to Nankana Sahib. After unloading there, we had to cover some diesel average. We had to move the empty truck, so we were driving it back. Between Nankana Sahib, there's a road that goes to Lahore. It's about 135 kilometers long. That road was completely deserted because it was winter and there was fog too. Nothing was visible there. There was just one petrol pump that comes right at the center of this road. My co-driver was tired after driving all day and was sleeping at that time. I took over the wheel. It was 8:30 p.m. Well, I started driving from there. When I reached halfway, I had crossed that petrol pump. I had put on some soft songs because I was feeling sleepy too. Now the vehicle was on the road. In my whole life till then, I'd never experienced anything like this. When you're driving on the road, your side vision tells you when something passes by. When I was passing through there, I felt like something passed by from that footpath. But when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see anything. Anyway, I sped up and moved ahead. When that road ended, it was completely deserted. There was nothing there. I took a U-turn and was returning when I passed that petrol pump again. When I had passed it earlier, there was nothing there. It was completely deserted. But when I returned, a little ahead of that petrol pump in the center, I saw something. I don't know what it was. I thought maybe it's a watchman who came out while walking on that side of the petrol pump. I had all my vehicle lights on. Trucks have 4 lights, 2 beam lights and 2 regular headlights. I had all of them on. I honked too, but got no response. Around those days, we had heard that a girl comes from under the motorway who stops drivers asking for a lift. Then her companions come out and rob them. I thought maybe it's them. So I didn't stop there. My co-driver was sleeping, and there wasn't time to wake him and explain. So I moved my truck exactly to the center. I thought if my vehicle hit something, it shouldn't die but stay in the center. I was thinking that just ahead is Nankana Sahib interchange, so I'll speed up and take the truck to the rest area there. So I did exactly that. I increased speed, held the steering firmly, and closed my eyes. And when the vehicle passed over it, I didn't feel anything, no jerk to the vehicle either. But when the vehicle passed ahead, you won't believe it. There was an extremely loud screaming sound from behind and flames of fire behind the truck that I could see in the side mirror. I gave full speed. As much as I could, I sped away from there. From there, by the time I returned, it was about 1 a.m. I was just behind Nankana Sahib interchange when the FAR Azan started. I stopped at a petrol pump. I was very sleepy. So whatever that thing was, it passed. Then the real incident happened. I parked the truck at the petrol pump and slept there. I told the other driver about what had happened behind us. He laughed and said this can't be true. I didn't want to convince him either. Thought whatever happened is past. Let's sleep. I was very sleepy. So I had just laid down. Not slept yet. I was in that state, between sleep and wakefulness. Then suddenly I felt weight on me. The way it was pressing, I could see it, but my limbs wouldn't move to do anything. So I gathered all my courage and turned over, falling from the seat. I was lying on the front seat, while he was on the back seat. When I fell, my hand hit below, which made the other driver wake up. So he picked me up and sat me properly, saying, "Let's get out of here. There's something here and there's weight on the truck too." The Azan had happened and it was still dark, so we drove away from there. Near the motorway interchange, he stopped a little behind. He said they don't allow stopping on the motorway. He said, "I'll get down and check the tires, then we'll go ahead." As he was now driving, he told me, "I'm checking the tires. You sit, and then we'll move ahead." As soon as he went and checked the rear tires and came back, he saw in front of the truck's bumper, I don't know what creature was dancing. Its feet weren't touching the ground. They were all wearing black clothes and were short in height. Seeing this, he ran back and climbed into the back of the truck. He called me and said, "Tyre, look ahead. What's that thing ahead?" When I looked ahead, that same creature was dancing there. Seeing them, my hair stood on end. I said, "Let's just run away from here." He told me, "You drive." I said, "How can I drive? What if they kill me?" He said, "No, you drive." All this he was telling me on phone. So I told him, "Okay, hold the steering firmly, because I'm going to speed up from here." So he did that. I very carefully came to the front seat. I locked the vehicle, rolled up all windows fully, and gave full speed. About 4 kilometers ahead was the interchange. I drove at full speed, and we got onto the interchange. That road was completely deserted too. At that time, the truck had become so heavy that it was about to stop. We had a big truck that could pull 100 tons weight. We were just a little behind the interchange when the truck was about to stop completely. I pushed hard and brought the truck to the interchange. There the truck lightened a bit. After that, we got on the motorway and breathed a sigh of relief. After that, we took an oath that we would never go to Nankana Sahib to unload goods again. So this was my story. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Now, let's proceed to another story. When I was 17 years old, I had gone to Murray with my mother, because when summer vacations come, we go to Murray for a few days. The same happened. We went to Murray. Now, let me tell you about our house there. First, there's a first floor, which is 3 rooms and a kitchen. Beyond that is a garden. With that, some relatives of my grandfather live there. Now, let's talk about the second floor. It has 6 rooms, and outside is a big hall. Actually, you know in these areas, often the washrooms are outside. Okay, at night, I was lying with my mother on the first floor. Around 2 to 3 a.m., my eyes opened. It was very dark. My mother has a habit of keeping a light on her side while sleeping. So I took the light from her side table and went out to the washroom. As I told you, our house is both indoor and outdoor ways to the washroom, but we mostly use the indoor way at night. Now let me tell you about the outdoor part. On the back side, there are 2 rooms. Ahead of them is a small courtyard, then a room and with a kitchen. The room on the back side opens outside, and with it is also the way to go up, meaning a rough way that goes to the roof. Our washroom is also on the roof. When I reached the roof, the jungle was visible ahead. When I saw that scene, I was terrified. I don't know what happened to me. I went up alone. I ignored all those things and went to the washroom. Our washroom light turns on from inside. But since I came from the outdoor way, I saw the way with the help of tube light. When I came out of the washroom, what did I see? There was something toward the jungle. I started hearing sounds from the bushes. I felt like someone was present, so I walked that way, although I'm very afraid of such things. But that night, I don't know what happened. I went into that jungle to see. Brother Adnan, what I saw was a woman sitting there. Her hair was very long and dirty. When I shone light on her, she turned towards me. I was terrified. Her whole face was melted. Where I should be, there were just patches, and she started laughing loudly at me. Her laughter echoed through the whole jungle. I felt very heavy. After that, what happened? I had never even imagined. I was still looking at that woman when I felt someone coming from behind. I immediately realized I had made a big mistake. When I turned back, that same woman who was in front of me was standing behind me too. Seeing this, I fainted. When I opened my eyes, I was on the bed and my mother and father were with me. Mom asked, "Where did you go at night?" I told them everything. They told me that when they woke up for far prayer, I wasn't there. They woke up my father and both searched the whole house for me. When too much time passed and they couldn't find me, my elder brother said, "I'll go look in the jungle." My mother and brother went to jungle and found me lying unconscious there. After that night, I had high fever for a week. Hope you like my story. But whenever I remember this incident, I get very scared. Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much for sharing the story. Friends, I hope you liked today's stories. If you like the stories, don't forget to like the video. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. By pressing the bell icon and turning on all notifications, you will become part of my YouTube family. Now notifications of my stories will reach you. Take very good care of yourselves. Remember me in your prayers. I take your leave now. See you in another interesting story. Take care.